All right. So today is a big day. The Fed's going to have their minutes released in a little bit. And also, we've heard some news from the Treasury Department as well. So expectations are low because we're expecting jobs numbers to come in pretty hot. Okay. But that's not the truth of the matter, as we can see from all the data that's been out there. Now, we'll be listening to the estimate on the balance sheet where we expect them to slow their Treasury reductions from 60 billion to about 30 billion. This means they're going to start buying up to 30 billion per month in treasuries and absorbing the supply out there in the market. This could help the bond market, which could help interest rates, of course. All right. But they also said they're going to start buying back treasuries every week for liquidity reasons. Now, starting May 29th, they said that they'll be buying up about 8 to 9 billion per month, which could help absorb some supply, especially in coordination with the Fed slowing their balance sheet reduction. The Treasury announced they plan to suck up about what $352 billion per month in auctions. Okay, and it could help with help is around 38 to $39 billion. It may absorb 11% of the supply out there, which is a really good thing. But the big thing on my mind is the jobs numbers. Now, couple of weeks ago, or actually last week, I talked about how the BLS jobs report has been reporting 212,000 for the past 5 weeks, not counting last week, because last week they went up about 10,000, which is not a significant statistical number. 212,000 jobs created every single week for the past 5 weeks. And if you take out President's Day and if you take out Easter holiday as well, then that's 9 weeks, 7 out of the 9 weeks back to back, 212,000. Now, this is a statistical anomaly, in my opinion. We have 50 states out there, each with its own unemployment department, and each state has at least a few offices, if I'm not mistaken. Having all these 50 entities reporting the same exact number for 9 weeks in a row, how's that possible? Okay, so one thing is during COVID timeframe, we had about the BLS sends out a survey for these companies to fill out. The sample size is about I think 70,000 or so. Regardless, they have a 60% hit ratio on this during COVID timeframe. So during COVID, 60% of the companies were reporting back to the BLS so they can gather these statistics. Post COVID, we're seeing a 40% response ratio. So the statisticians and analysts at the BLS have to make up this data from the 40% of the respondents that are responding to their survey. ADP, on the other hand, of course, you know that you get your paycheck from ADP. So they actually know how much you're getting paid and how often you're getting paid. So their larger size of the sample is actually current data and real data. ADP numbers show a really drastically different picture than what the BLS jobs report shows. Regardless, the BLS report uses a birth death rate model. So, to make up the rest of the 60% of the non respondents, they have to somehow formulate and come up with an algorithm to figure out what the unemployment really is. All right. Today, April ADP report showed that there were 192,000 jobs created during the month, which is stronger than the estimated 183. Additionally, March was revised higher from 184 to 208,000 jobs. Most of the hiring took place in businesses with 50 or fewer employees. Small businesses only add about 38,000 jobs or so. This is something to keep in mind for the BLS jobs report on Friday. BLS uses the imputed data, which I just told you about, by the birth death model for small businesses, and has been coming in much hotter than ADP's numbers, okay, which is actually a real sample size. This could be negative, meaning we could see some stronger job growth in the BLS report than what is really happening in the market. And I think it's important not to take the data that we see on these statistical reports and all these other reports that we get, but to also supplement that with your own personal feelings. When you go to the shopping store, when you go to the shopping market and buy things, are prices higher? When you hear about your friends getting laid off, are they getting a job right away? How many people have been reporting that layoffs are around the corner? I know, for instance, the banks are planning to do another set of layoffs. I know Facebook is laying off people. I know Apple is laying off people. We know through other reports that the other large companies are planning a lot of layoffs. Now, what's the real picture? Are we actually creating 212,000 jobs every single week? I don't know. How do you feel? ADP also reported annual pay for job stayers increased at about 5%, which is down from 5.1 in the previous report. Job changers saw an average increase of about 9.3, which is down from 10.1 in the previous month. This figure has was a low in, I think, February at 7.8. The Atlanta Fed, though, is interesting. The Atlanta Fed's wage tracker fell from 4.9 to 4.7 in March, with job changers falling from 5.3 in February to 5.2 in March. You could argue this series is not as good as the ADPs because of the sampling size, and also this is the stuff that the BLS actually uses and the Fed uses to gain their understanding of the marketplace. But this is 10. But the ADP report is showing 10.1. This is about half of what ADP is reporting. Again, more conflicting data. Now, JOLTS report came out already. The March JOLTS report showed that job openings contracted. Job openings totaled about 8.5 million, down from 8.8 million, well off the estimates of 8.7. This is the lowest level of job openings since 2021, in February of 2021. Leisure and hospitality make up 10%, 10,000, I'm sorry, following a 20,000 increase in the previous report. This sector is cooling down in the way of job openings, which is to be expected because nobody's spending money out there, but it's yet to be seen in the jobs report data. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is ISM. This is the manufacturing index in New York. Anything above, anything in a positive number is a negative thing, okay? So we're showing at 49.2 in April. Looking at the components, employment remained in contraction for the seventh month in a row. Again, more data conflicting with the BLS jobs data. So the point of this is to tell you to kind of take a critical eye to the stuff that you see out there and temper it with what you actually see yourself in your own lives. I can't wait for this BLS jobs report on Friday, and stand by for the Fed's meetings minutes, and we'll see what's happening with interest rates. Um, give me send me your comments below, and let me see what you have to say about this. Talk to you guys soon.